I am so excited to do this vlog because I am here with Aaron.
Hello.
Who is actually also a YouTuber, if you didn't know. But yeah, super funny story. Aaron is actually one of my college mentors. Like, I literally would not have been able to get through college without you. Like, I just really appreciate you. And this is our first time meeting in person.
It is,
literally.
yes. After, what, like 4 years? 5 years?
I think so.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Yeah, lots of texting, lots of stressing about school.
Lots of late night problem sets.
Yeah, but anyways, because I'm in the Bay Area now and Aaron also happens to be in the Bay Area, so I was like, Aaron, oh my god, we have to meet in person.
Yeah, it's surreal, and it's funny because we went through the exact same program together. So we were at the Claremont colleges, spent 3 years there, and then went to Columbia, and we actually did the same major there, but we didn't overlap, and so but it was like a very much shared experience.
Yup. Anyways, so I'm actually at Stanford Business School right now because Aaron is actually pursuing his MBA at Stanford.
That's right,
now at the moment. And like he's in his final month at this point. There's only like 4 weeks left, which is crazy. Yeah, I know. So Aaron's not gonna be in the Bay Area anymore. So I was like, oh my god, I have to catch you before you leave.
Yeah, I'm glad we did.
Yeah. But anyways, he's gonna take us around Stanford Business School because this is my first time here.
Yeah.
Just wanted to film a vlog together.
All right, let's walk around.
Yeah, let's do it.
The business school is kind of like siloed off from the rest of campus. But it's beautiful. Yeah, I think a lot of great buildings, and it's kind of just in its own part. Actually, right behind us are all like the business school dorms, and so those are where all the first years live. And so normally the way it works is in your first year you live in one of these 2 dorms, and so you're like literally across the street from all the classrooms, and you can see some of the classrooms right there actually.
Ooh, okay.
And then second year, some people live on campus, a lot of people live off campus. We have this thing called pass downs, which essentially each year like these houses get passed down from the new class or from the older class to the newer class. And so they're like houses that a lot of people have lived in. The house that Facebook actually started at is one of in that system, which is really cool, very like Silicon Valley tech-esque. And so it's a fun experience. But I lived on campus first year, and then in one of those pass downs this year.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
And then so, yeah, like basically this whole stretch, like on the other side is just classrooms. There aren't actually that many classrooms, but it's enough to fit everyone, which is nice.
Cool.
And I feel like it's kind of surreal because you like walk through here and you just see all these trees like right up here, for example, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Filming the trees.
Roommate right up there and my friend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So where are we walking towards right now?
I'd say the middle of the campus. Like there's an area called Town Square, which is where people hang out and chill at.
Oh, cool.
Yep. You see everyone like bikes over here, so you can see a lot of different bikes. Big biking culture.
Yeah. So how would you compare being a MBA student versus like undergrad?
Very different, especially compared to our experience at Columbia. Columbia was a lot harder. This is like a 2-year vacation. Hello. This is someone that I went to undergrad with, and I mentored her, and we're meeting for the first time today.
Yeah.
And she's actually a YouTuber, so we're vlogging
We're
for our
filming a
channel.
vlog.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to say hi?
Yeah, I will say hi.
Yay!
Nice meeting you.
Cool.
Nice meeting you.
Have a good run.
Good walk.
Yeah, so this is the main campus. And it's beautiful.
Woo!
Any questions?
Leave a comment below.
Yeah, so this is kind of the main area. We call this Town Square. So a lot of people kind of congregate here throughout the day. That's our main dining hall called Arbuckle. A lot of tables out there. So yeah, people generally kind of hang out, do work here. We have a coffee place called Koopa there that sells decently overpriced coffee. And we have like a big library up here, and basically across all of this, it's all just individual classrooms.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. To answer your question about earlier, like compared to undergrad, I think like the business school experience is a lot more fun on average because you're not really stressed about grades. I think yeah, you just get like 2 years to meet incredible people, explore like what gives you passion in life, figure out what you want to do as a career. I think a lot of people come into school with an idea of what they want to do, but then kind of quickly change their mind as they spend time exploring here. And I think Stanford in particular has a lot of really cool opportunities to help you explore like entrepreneurship and other career paths as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Aaron and I both studied applied math at Columbia.
We
did. I was really curious, have you applied any of the applied math skills that you learned at Columbia?
Not in the slightest. I think it was funny because towards the end of Columbia, I was thinking like, what am I even taking these classes for? I mean, I'm very grateful for the experience and I learned a lot, but I think in terms of applying it to like career or in terms of applying to like what I'm doing now, definitely there's very little overlap. But I think the main thing about applied math is it kind of just teaches you how to think critically and figure out like be better at problem solving. But to answer your question directly, not really. What about you? Do you feel like you're applying a lot of what you learned?
I mean, like, have I used partial differential equations? Have I done dynamical systems?
No.
And
I never want to hear those words ever again.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely... The material was just really difficult, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like so much grinding, so many late night problem sets.
I feel you.
And fortunately, that is not the culture of business school.
Yeah.
So it's more laid back here for sure.
Yeah, it's not like that in full-time either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I love this place.
So Aaron and I we did this 3-2 degree program. So we basically spent our first 3 years at a liberal arts college. We both went to the Claremont colleges, like he mentioned in the beginning of the video. And then we went to Columbia for the last 2 years. So I was curious how you feel about the liberal arts experience versus the Columbia experience.
They're really different, as I'm sure you know as well. I think the Claremont system is one of the most underrated places in the US. I feel really grateful to have gone there. Claremont McKenna in particular, just so many wonderful people. And actually one of the reasons I wanted to go to Stanford Business School is because it reminded me so much of what Claremont was like. I think it's a smaller community, so people really care for each other, which I really valued. Like I found that at Claremont, like the alumni were just so much more receptive to talking. There was so much school pride, so much, and I feel that way too. Like I love my experience there and I love giving back to kids that went to Claremont as well.
Oh yeah, he gave back to me a lot.
Whereas I think Columbia is just like a much larger institution, right? So there are two completely different experiences. I think Claremont is like a lot more small, tight-knit. I like my classes there a lot because I think the professors like really know who each person is on a name-to-name basis. And it was just such a vibrant community. Also, it was Southern California, which was so nice. You know, Columbia is like kind of a bigger name brand school, but like I'd say in terms of classes, I actually like the liberal art like experience a little bit more, especially because of how big the class sizes were at Columbia. And as you know from Columbia, it's like our classes had so many mix between undergrad and master's students, and so class sizes would sometimes range from like upwards to 100 plus. And that was just like, I mean, maybe like one econ class I had at Claremont was 100, but generally it was like 20 to 30 per class.
I feel you.
And I think that makes a big difference in like the learning experience as well.
I agree.
And yeah, I don't know. It was like a combination of class size plus like really passionate teachers plus a really great community at Claremont, which made me love it. And I think for Columbia, like the larger institution size like wasn't necessarily very conducive for me learning. But you know, Columbia has so many incredible and well-tenured like professors, people who do like really interesting research. One of my math professors was like a finalist for the Fields Award, which is, you know, like the most prestigious award in math, and like to be able to say that I could take that class is really cool. Or study like from that professor is really cool. And so they're just very different experiences overall. And I think like for me, the liberal arts school experience was a better fit, but I'm really grateful I did both.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. He like summarized it all like super great. Yeah.
Stanford's campus, I think, is beautiful. It reminds me a lot of the Claremont colleges, but I think the Claremont colleges was so cool because it was, you know, 5 schools combined into kind of one bigger system, but each of the campuses were so different from each other. So I felt like as soon as you stepped off like Claremont and you went to Scripps, it felt like transferring from one world to another. And I feel like that's such a unique experience in undergrad that most people don't get, which is why I'm also really grateful for that place.
Yeah, I think also because you have like 5 different campuses, you have a lot of cool, interesting courses as well.
Yeah.
I was curious, did you like have any specific course that you absolutely remember and like you absolutely love?
At Claremont? Let me think. I feel like a lot of my non-major classes were actually the classes I liked the
feel
most.
you.
Like I took an Asian American history class and it was just fantastic. The professor, Vinny Shelton, like just wonderful. And as someone who is Asian American but like had very little education about Asian American history throughout high school, I was like really grateful to have a class that focused so much on just history that felt so relevant and rich to me. I was like, econ major at Claremont. The econ classes were like, okay. I actually think Claremont's econ classes are really great because they're super like applicational. So it's like, you take like accounting, you take corporate finance and like these things that really help build a strong foundation. And so I'm grateful I did those, but in terms of like most memorable classes, yeah, I think that class, the Asian American history class was really memorable. I took a philosophy class that was really cool as well. So somehow it's like the non-econ classes are more memorable.
I feel you. Yeah. What advice would you give to anybody who's interested in an MBA or like interested in pursuing one, or like they don't know if they want to do one, or like should they work full time first, or just anything around should I do an MBA?
I think it's really helpful to talk to people that might have been in similar situations. So talk to people that might have worked at your company or worked in your kind of field beforehand and either thought about this process and ended up going to get an MBA or decided, you know what, I'm not going to do it. It's a big decision at the end of the day. I think people often think about the opportunity cost, right? You're spending a fair amount of money to go to get this degree, and instead of working, you're spending money instead, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a huge opportunity cost to consider. I think for me, my decision kind of came off a couple of things. I wasn't set on going, but I figured I might as well apply. The application process mainly requires like the standardized test, the GMAT, a couple of letters of recommendations, and then you write a couple of essays as well. And so I think once I got the GMAT out of the way, I felt like, okay, there's not really that much more work that needs to be done. And so I found it worthwhile. And I think a lot of people think about getting one and apply, but then like they kind of just want the optionality. And so I'd say like if you're thinking about doing it, make sure you study hard for the GMAT because that score does matter a lot.
Yeah.
But the application process is like so holistic. Like all the different parts of your application really matter. So even if one part is weaker, like the other things can really make up for it if you have a really interesting story or really interesting work experience, for example. But to answer your initial question, I think, think heavily about what you want to spend that time doing, right? Is it for a career pivot?
Yeah.
Is it because you just kind of want a break from work and you want to network and meet other people? Is it because you want to honestly just have fun? And like, we call this adult vacation, and it feels in many ways like it.
Right.
Think heavily about the reasons and also what you're giving up for it. And my recommendation is to just, if you're even thinking about it, you should just go for it because I think that, the process is not too intense in terms of applying. And then, when you get in, then you can think about, do I actually want to go or not?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your MBA experience and also comparing it to undergrad.
No problem.
Sure, this is going to be very helpful to a lot of people.
Fingers crossed. And if people have questions and are thinking about Stanford or business school apps in general, I actually applied as a deferred admin, so I got in during undergrad, which is kind of unique, but most of the programs today actually have these deferred programs. And so if you're thinking about doing that, or if you're thinking about coming to Stanford, like please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to talk about it.
Wow. Yeah. Look at him. He's always giving back. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for watching.
If you enjoy, you have to, I'm begging you, please like, please subscribe. Melody is doing the coolest content out there. And as a content creator myself, it can really, really go a long way. So jokes aside, even just leaving a like in the video, leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel, it goes such a long way in helping build out this channel and everything she's building out. So don't forget to do it.
Everybody go subscribe and also like.
Only if you like Pokemon. Otherwise, I don't want to fill up your subscription feed.
I subscribe to his channel even though I don't really like Pokemon.
Thank you.
Bye.